This is what we knew the Seahawks were capable of doing. This is what we knew. This is what I knew the Seahawks were capable of doing this season. I apologize for being outside in the middle of a parking lot, but obviously, this is what happens in college. My dorm room full, occupied, so that's why I'm out here. But here's the deal, guys. The Seahawks are legit. I said it in the preseason. I said we were going to be the number 1 seed. I said we were going to the NFC title game. I said we were going to win 12 games. Right now, we're 3-1. We're on pace to win 12 games. Right now, I think we're the 3rd best team in the NFC. I think the 49ers and the Eagles are undefeated, and they both played really well. So I'm going to give them their flowers. I think they're the 2 best, but I think Seattle, are we better than Dallas? Dallas lost to Arizona. We lost to the Rams. Everyone thinks the Rams are better. So the Seahawks, what a game that was. What a game that was. Can we talk about that game for a second? Okay, the defense, lights out the entire time. 11 sacks. That was the best defensive performance I've seen in years from the Seahawks. I mean that in complete sincerity and honesty. I haven't seen my Seahawks play like that defense in years. It was like the Legion of Boom all over again. Literally. It was like I felt like I was watching the 2014 Seattle Seahawks. That's what it felt like to me. That was incredible. 2 interceptions, a pick 6. Devin Witherspoon looks like a absolute just crush of a draft pick. 2 sacks, a pick 6, first career interception in the NFL. First pick 6 since his senior year of high school. It was great. It was great. I cannot applaud the defense enough. Bobby Wagner had a sack. Everyone was cooking on defense tonight. Boye Mafe had a sack. We had Jamal Adams. That's unfortunate. Jamal Adams played really well, and he left the game with a concussion. So he's probably going to miss. He might not actually, because we have a bye next week. So he's probably actually going to be. He's probably going to be able to play our next game against the Bengals, which is awesome. But he looked good in his one drive. And then we've got. Who else? I mean, the entire defense. Julian Love even played well. And I know people are going to say it was against the Giants. It was against the Giants. The Giants sucked. Maybe the Giants do suck, but they did beat the Cardinals, and the Cowboys couldn't even beat the Cardinals. So, I don't know, man. I think the Giants are better than people think. By the way, the 49ers, they beat the Giants by 18. We beat the Giants by 21. The difference is the Niners scored 2 garbage time touchdowns late in the game, which is why they ended up winning by so much. They were up 17-12 going into the fourth quarter. They ended up winning 30-12. Seattle was up 21-3 by the halfway point of the third quarter, and we dominated the entire game. There was never even an idea that the Giants were going to win that game. There was an idea the Giants were going to beat the 49ers. So I think that's huge. And by the way, people are going to say, oh, they only scored 2 offensive touchdowns. Yeah, so did the Cowboys. The Cowboys only scored 2 offensive touchdowns against the Giants. They had 2 offensive touchdowns. They had a kick return, and they had a blocked punt or a blocked field goal that they returned for a touchdown. So by that logic, we are just as competitive against the Giants as the Cowboys and the 49ers were. I think we're better than the Cowboys. I really do. We both have played one bad game. Our bad game was against a good team. Their bad game was against a shitty team. Excuse my language. So I think Seattle is rolling right now. We have a bye next week, which is great. We're going to get healthy. Jamal Adams going to get healthy. Geno Smith going to get healthy. I'll talk about the offense in a sec. But as well as our O-line, which hopefully is going to get healthy as well. So only good things to say right now about the Seahawks. And again, you can say it was against the Giants all you want, but any given Sunday, that's the phrase in the NFL. We've lost to the Giants before when they were playing Colt McCoy and we had Russell Wilson. That's just how the NFL works. You have good teams don't always beat up on the bad ones, but when they do, that proves how good they are. And we dominated on every single aspect of this game. This was the best game I've seen the Seattle Seahawks play in a very long time, and it happened despite it being completely rigged. I mean, completely rigged. I don't know who's yelling, but let's talk about the referees for a second. And I'm gonna do a longer video where I'm actually at my desk, hopefully talking to Drew, or maybe not. Maybe it'll be one of our guests. We'll see. But we'll have a longer full game analysis type video. This is just my instant reaction to the game. The referees Are you kidding me right now? I understand it's Monday Night Football. I understand you're trying to keep your audience. No Taylor Swift at this game, so the fans aren't going to watch unless it's a good game. And I understand. I understand the media loves the New York teams, but come on. It was very clear. I mean, the referees were trying so hard to make this a competitive game. They were trying so hard. They were gift wrapping penalties for the Giants left and right, and the Seahawks looked at that and said, we don't care, we're going to beat you to the ground anyways. The Giants, three times, the Giants were shoving our players over to the ground after the play. They got in a fight with Geno, and Geno's the one who gets called for unsportsmanlike conduct, even though they're the ones who injured him. They also got in a fight after, or right before we scored the first touchdown with Kenneth Walker, or it might have been the second touchdown. One of the first two touchdowns, there was a fight near the goal line, again, started by the Giants, no flag on that one. And then later on in the game, we had, there was another altercation where, who was it? I don't remember, but multiple guys on the Giants' defensive line start attacking us again in the third quarter. Not to mention multiple key plays where they were holding us and didn't get called, multiple PIs that were missed on them, multiple, it was terrible. It was an awful refereed game, and the Seahawks said, we don't care, we're going to win anyways. There was probably 25 penalties called in that game, and only like 2 or 3 were against the Giants. All the rest against Seattle, doesn't matter. People will say we played a sloppy game. Maybe we played somewhat sloppy, but I would say a majority of those, I'm trying to find a spot with the best lighting here, by the way. That's why I keep moving around. I would say a majority of those calls were bogus, BS penalties that should not have been called. The referees, you could tell what they were doing. They wanted to make it a competitive game. The ESPN, they need these games to be competitive, or else no one's going to watch past the first quarter. That's what they were scared of. That's exactly what happened. And no matter how many dumbass calls that the referees could make against us, it didn't even matter. It did not even matter because we overcome. The Seahawks, that's what we do. We overcome. We get called for penalties. Maybe we are a little sloppy. We're a young team. We're an aggressive team. Were there a few penalties that were legit? There were. DK Metcalf, yeah, he made a big mistake. It was 3rd and 20. Geno Smith completes 3rd and 25. It was 3rd and 25. Geno Smith completes a pass to Tyler Lockett for about 12 yards. And instead of just taking the 12 yards, DK bodied the guy in front of him. And that was clearly a block, and the play got called back. DK needs to be smarter. DK still plays with a lot of emotion. I understand that. But the fact that we got called for holding on a play where Phil Haynes got shoved to the ground and injured, and he had to leave the game, and they called him on holding. I mean, can you believe that? That's just ridiculous. There were so many plays like that throughout the entirety of the game, and yet it did not matter. It did not matter because the Seahawks overcome. And speaking of overcome, let me give a shout-out to my boy, Drew Lock. Are you for real, Drew? When I saw Drew Lock enter the game, I honestly thought the game that was the one moment that I was scared. That was the one moment I was scared because we have never seen Drew Lock play a regular season game in a Seattle Seahawks uniform. Last year, he was one of 2 backup quarterbacks who never saw the field. Him and Tim Boyle on the Lions were the only 2 backup quarterbacks last year who didn't see the field. There was never a blowout that he replaced Geno. Geno never got hurt. Geno never missed a snap. Geno and Jared Goff, only 2 quarterbacks that never missed a snap. So we never have seen Drew Lock play for the Seahawks in a regular season game, in a meaningful game. And he comes out and he just about threw a touchdown pass to Noah Fant, by the way. Huge credit to Noah Fant. Ends up getting down to the 2. Doesn't matter. Kenneth Walker runs it in anyways. And Drew Lock, 2 drives. One of them was a touchdown. What more can you ask? And the other one, I'm pretty sure was a missed field goal, right? Maybe that wasn't a missed field goal. I'm not sure, but what more can you ask of my guy Drew Lock? He looked good. He looked impressive, honestly. Like, I still don't think he's any better than maybe like the 15th best backup quarterback in the NFL. But if that's what you need, when you have a backup quarterback who can go out there and put together a touchdown drive while your starter's in the tent getting evaluated, that is all you can ask for out of your backup. You're not asking your backup to go out there and win games for you. That's not what the backup's job is. Unless you think your starter's going to get injured, unless you have an injury-prone starter, you don't need a backup who's actually going to go out and win games for you. You need a backup who can go out there when your quarterback has to leave the game, or when it's a blowout win or blowout loss, who can go out there and just keep your team afloat. And that's exactly what Drew Lock did. He kept the Seahawks afloat. I am so proud of Drew Lock right now. I cannot tell you enough. Kenneth Walker has another great game with a touchdown. He had a rough start to the game, almost had a touchdown right out on the second drive of the game, but they ended up calling it back because his elbow touched the ground. But he bounces back. He ended up going for at least 50 yards, probably more than that. Just, I'm so happy, guys. I cannot tell you enough how happy I am. I was jumping up and down. I was screaming my head off. People in my college probably think I'm a psychopath right now because of how loud I was being during that game, but I'm going to support my guys no matter what. So I'm telling you this right now. You guys are going to see my power ranking soon, but I'm going to tell you where the Seahawks, they're going to stay right where they were, baby. We're a top 5 team in this league. Number 5, Seattle Seahawks. That's my evaluation. I honestly, I think we're the 5th best team in the NFL. I would put us behind the Chiefs, the Bills, the Eagles, and the 49ers. Not in that order, but those are the only 4 teams right now that I think that are better than us. And we play 2 of those teams this year. So we'll see. You know, we will see. But I'm just saying, man, we are as good as anybody right now. Our offense is cooking. Our defense is cooking. The only problem on our team right now is Jason Myers, who missed another field goal tonight. But other than him, man. So that's my immediate post-game reaction. We'll have more analysis tomorrow and then power rankings later in the week. Also, sometime this week, our final thoughts on the Mariners season is probably going to drop as well. So lots of great content coming at you guys. This is the NW Sportscast. Let's get to 500 subscribers by the end of the week, baby. Let's effing do this thing. Like, subscribe, comment down below.